Do you want courageous faith? I think we all do. And this past Sunday, we talked about how to have courageous faith by looking at the story of David versus Goliath. We all look at David that stood up when no one else would stood up and believed that God could do far more than David was capable of. And we look at that faith and we're like, hey, I want that kind of faith. So how do we have it? The first thing David had was consistency in his personal life. He was consistent. We look at two different scenarios in David's consistency. One was that before David was king, he was in Saul's court, which prepared him to be king. And the way that he was in Saul's court was because he was a musician and he had practiced his music and his gift for music in private. And because he practiced his gifts in private, his talents in private, God used that gift to prepare David for the future, to be king. But also, when it came to David versus Goliath, we see this, that David had been faithful in his work as a shepherd. He didn't just throw up his hands, I don't really care about these sheep. I'm called for something more. I'm called for something better than these sheep. No, David cared about his work, and he allowed his work to be his worship. And so when a bear came along and took away one of his sheep, man, he believed that God would deliver this bear in his hands and allow him to retrieve this sheep back. He cared. And when it came to the lion came and took one of his sheep. Man, a lot of stuff was trying to take his sheep. Took his sheep away. And what happened? He went and he believed that God could conquer this lion. And so he killed the lion and got his sheep back. And so when it came to standing confident that God could do this, that God could conquer Goliath, this wasn't his first battle. And also, when it came to the sling, it wasn't his first time using a sling. He had practiced. He had practiced faith by killing the lion and the bear, and he had practiced using the sling. And so when it was time for him to step up, he had been practicing his faith and his gifts in private, and God used those things in public. And so consistency breeds courage, and courage is a catalyst that inspires faith in other people. What happens after David killed Goliath? We see that David inspired a whole army. It says they all shouted and pursued after the army. Your faith can be a catalyst that inspires faith in others. Now listen, you can have courageous faith, but the practical side of it is it starts by using your talents. It starts by using your gifts. It starts by using the faith that God has, that you do have right now. It starts by practicing those things in private, by being faithful in private. And then in those big moments, you will have courageous faith.